welcome to another episode of Strangers in the Alps, a movie podcast where every week we discuss movies in an in-depth, whatever, ramble.
Sure.
I'm Dan.
I'm Travis, a complete unknown.
I'm Crazy.
Damn it, I was going to do that. I'm Frank, I guess.
And that was Sam. And tonight we are broadcasting and podcasting in the kitchen of our cabin.
We have a kitchen?
While Mrs. Santa is baking Christmas goodies. So if you hear that in the background, and we are enjoying some applesauce cake. So yes, we are podcasting the night before, the week before Christmas. And this will probably air in the middle of May. But, you know,
well,
we will. This was the Christmas episode.
To also...
Quote, "'Twas."
Hey, you know, people.
It just might still be.
Hey,
and this great Christmas movie we watched.
People get a little crazy before the holidays, right? Dan, people get a little crazy before the holidays.
Get it?
Do they get a little crazies before the holidays?
Yeah. So.
Oh yeah, they do get a little crazies. 2010.
Also, to date this episode, if I don't know which episode's going to come up first at this point, but two episodes ago, we recorded an episode on 28 Days Later, and starting tomorrow, Wednesday, December 18th, you can officially
2024.
Yeah, you can officially buy or rent 28 Days Later digitally for the first time ever.
Mm-hmm.
That is so not interesting.
It actually is, because this film, 28 Days Later, was kind of like lost media for like a really long time. You couldn't find a home video release. There was no digital release. It was streaming in some places.
It was on the verge of being extinct, except for all the copies that are in circulation. But yeah.
So it's not a physical copy, it's just
there is
digital? The re-release?
Well, yeah, because...
is there not a DVD?
There was, but it's very out of print. So if you have like a DVD...
It was hard to find.
You're kind of sitting on like a mini... You're sitting on like a mini fortune. But
yeah, Dan.
It's funny, though, how they've kind of had it the whole time. Because apparently they're only doing it now because 28 years later, it's like one of the most watched horror trailers like ever.
Really?
It hit
of all time.
So they're like, hey, we're going to release the movie.
Is that the movie we're doing tonight?
Yeah.
Why don't you shut up? I have a microphone, and you will listen to everything I have to say.
That was very hurtful.
That's the microphone that your
I'm being a
father
little bit of a
got killed
psycho.
with.
You're being kind of crazies.
All right. Dan,
he has been kind of crazy since 2010.
Am I sick? Am I
what
not doing
studio is 28 Days Later?
What's wrong
Fox.
with you? You're Travis, but you're not Travis. I'm sorry, that was another episode.
I'm going to go to the doctor.
That was
my Travis isn't my
Travis.
Travis has a knife.
It's
Travis, could you read the back of the VHS /
Travis.
DVD / streaming stick
/ laser
digital
disc.
copy?
Whoa, this description is actually pretty wild.
Is it on?
Is it crazy?
Is it on point? Or is it
It
just
is.
like this is not what the movie's about?
Anarchy reigns when an unknown toxin turns the peaceful citizens of Ogden Marsh into bloodthirsty lunatics. Couldn't say crazy. In an effort to contain the spread of the infection, authorities blockade the town and use deadly force to keep anyone from getting in or out. Now trapped among killers, Sheriff Dutton and his wife and two companions must band together to find a way out before madness and death overtake them.
I did not watch that movie.
Yeah, that's pretty much what happened.
That's a pretty good description. But doesn't he get out then go back in to get his wife?
Well, I mean, it doesn't tell you, but basically that happens in like the first hour.
I'm just asking, is that what happens?
Well, because remember
But he doesn't really get out. He's just moved to another... Okay, let's start.
Well, no, because that was a whole twist in the film, too.
Let's do pre-thoughts. I will start. I have never heard of this movie.
What?
And I know, right?
That's crazy.
That's crazies. I was discussing this with Frank, actually, before we went on to Broadcast Podcast.
Yeah.
And
where did this broadcast podcast
I don't know. It's
happen?
a new thing I'm doing.
Oh, gotcha.
It's a spinoff.
It's my new jam.
It's leaving the show.
I will announce that at the end of the episode. I was surprised that I'd never heard of it because it was like 2010. I don't know. I actually never heard of this movie, and I looked it up and didn't read about what it was about before I watched it. But I just want a little background on, like, what was the ranking? How did it liked? Did it do well? Anyway, so I didn't know. And that's all I have to say.
Well,
I was told we were watching it, so I watched it.
to add on to yours, Dan, I've asked like
9
people this.
hours?
No, I've been telling people. I'm like, they're like, oh, what do you know? I was like, oh, we're doing the Crazies. Or they'll be like, have you heard? They were like, what's that?
Huh?
Like
Right?
people, like every.
Wait,
but
you're people at work?
just people. Have,
Oh.
Yeah, but like the
Like
Crazy.
people in line at Ralph's?
Yeah. I stand outside.
No, 'cause I just
Anybody
wanna
you'll
know-
talk to?
No,
This guy next to you is going, Salvation Army, give me money. Have you seen Crazies?
while I'm making change in the offering bin at church.
Because I'm trying to figure out. Because you were like, oh, they're asking you what you're doing this
Oh,
week, so I'm wondering who are they?
Let me rephrase that. When I was
Are there
telling
actually people asking
Oh,
what
when
we're
I
okay.
doing
was
this
telling,
week?
no,
That's
when
what
I
I'm
was telling
saying.
people.
That's so cool if they
Yeah,
are.
no, but
What are we doing this
That's
week?
why I want to know who
But
that one
also
person
too,
is.
this tells you
Who is
this.
they?
This tells you how under the radar this movie is. This movie was number 3, and I think number 1 that weekend, that opening weekend, was Cop Out.
Oh no.
Yeah,
Bruce
But
Willis
did it open
and
like in
Trader, or Trader.
February
it
or
opened in
something?
February,
Trader
so
Joe.
it was
Trader
not.
Joe.
That's a
Trader
dumping
Jordan.
ground back
Yeah.
then. It was either dumping ground or a Woody Allen movie.
Yeah,
That's bad.
So
Woody Allen is now a dumping ground.
what was your
Ew.
pre-thought?
Different.
Oh, so
So bad.
I had actually,
Yuck.
I'd seen the original.
That's not a pre-thought.
It's gay.
No, yes it is, because I'd seen the original before this movie came out.
Oh, there's an original?
Yes, this is a remake.
1973 or 8?
1973.
Really?
It's
Yeah.
a George Romero directed the
Oh, because
original.
he produced this one.
Yes.
I did not know he
Yes.
actually made a movie.
Yeah.
Oh my gosh. Oh, that's interesting.
So,
Are they similar?
yeah, I'll get into it
Okay.
after. But so I, in middle school, having seen that living, like I was a big fan of George Romero, so I was really excited. I was really excited about this movie. I had heard of it.
If only we could see Sam's face right now.
I will
I'm
describe
done.
it.
That's it.
Could she
That's
be
not it. You just stopped at middle school.
No, and
Could
No,
she
I
be less
explained way
interested in
more.
what you're saying?
I
Sam's
explained-
face is a face of serene
Oh no.
annoyance.
Yes. Supreme.
Supreme.
annoyance.
Wait, you said middle school and then what?
no, I said so. I was really excited because in middle school I was really into like George Romero films.
Oh,
And
uh-huh.
bio-
Middle
biological
school, high
weapons.
school, yeah,
Also that.
toxins, plane crashes.
Yeah.
How did you do that?
So I was really excited for this movie to come out. I was probably like one of like 5 people.
So did you actually go watch it in theaters?
Oh, you mean
I-
the 2010 one?
Yeah, I actually missed it in theaters somehow because I feel like it just came and went really
Yes.
fast.
That's what I was telling Dan. So did I. Like, I remember knowing it was going to come out, and then when I found out it was going to come out, it was already gone, and I was like, wait,
Yeah.
what?
Okay, let me.
How did that happen?
Yeah, I don't think the movie really had a big
My
bang.
copy of this.
No.
My copy of this movie,
Even
on
with Timothy
Blu-ray
Olyphant.
was a previous rental from Blockbuster. Like one of those. Remember they used to sell them like 5 for like $20 or whatever.
That's where you
and
got
it
it?
had like the previous. Yeah, that's how I got it.
Nice.
Sam?
Heard about it. I wasn't too crazy.
Two crazies.
Too crazy is to watch it.
2010.
Spookies.
I wasn't
Did
too
you
crazy
know
is
what-
2010.
Did you know what it was about? Just the general idea?
Yeah, with trailers I thought, oh, zombie movie.
Mhm.
And that was it. But I know you're going to talk about it later.
No, I was saying, and I liked the trailer too because it used like the Mad World, and I was like, whoa.
Oh, I don't remember that.
Yeah, I was like, this movie's cool. It's edgy.
Yeah.
It's ironic.
Isn't it
I'm just
ironic?
Okay. Frank?
Like Travis, I remember hearing that it was going to come out, seeing a trailer, and then realizing, oh, it's already gone.
Oh.
And
I also thought it was going to be about zombies. I hadn't seen the original, but I really did like the poster specifically. It's a shot of the pitchfork
Yeah.
being dragged on the floor.
Love that scene.
Yeah.
Did you know at the time it was the remake?
I didn't.
But you did, right, Travis?
Yeah. So there you go, Dan.
So, I will say when the movie started,
boy, did it start.
I will give it credit. It got right to the point.
Yeah.
Baseball game, crazy guy walking across the field with a shotgun. Boom, we're in. Very soon after that, I realized, oh crap, this is a zombie movie. I mean, I was just my initial reaction was I was really not ready for another end of the world zombie movie. We'd just seen.
You wanted to do that movie.
Days and Body Snatchers, so that doesn't count. No, we've seen a lot of these lately, like a lot of these
28
end of
Days
the
Later.
freaking
A
world
lot of
movies.
depressing. depresses.
So I was like, okay. But then I'll get into more as we talk. But as it got into it, I was able to like rise above that feeling.
Yes.
My Dan meter. I want to bring back the Dan
What is
meter.
that? What is that?
Please
The
explain.
Dan meter is sort of where my level of interest and reaction.
Why do we care about
to it
that?
is. Because I'm the outlier of this podcast. The only reason why it exists.
Is because he's never seen. some of
Otherwise,
these.
it'd be just the three of you having a love affair.
Pretty much.
No.
Of movies.
Thank you.
Yeah.
No,
so
Sam
see,
was
the
still-
I
Dan
thought
meter.
that was
Yeah.
implied.
Sam would still not like Chopping Mall.
Yeah, no.
Sam is my savior here.
Do you want to explain to them the dipstick that is the Dan meter, like how it works and where it goes,
where it actually
and
goes into.
yeah, how you can measure the levels?
It's rammed into my rear end.
I didn't expect him to actually go.
People are cooking.
No. People
And then-
person is eating.
And then,
Eating.
much like an oil stick, we see where the level's at.
You got to change it every 3 months.
You see, the adrenaline levels in Dan's meter.
or every,
Will
or every
dem-
10,000 miles. No,
So-
3,000 miles.
So now
Five.
Sam's
Five,
face.
yeah.
Sam's face is a very serene
I think
disgust.
Sam's halfway to her car. It was at about. It was
Don't.
low. It was low at this point. It's like a
Yeah.
3.
Are we doing out
Even
of 10?
with that opening.
Yeah, I don't mean that whether I liked it or not. I mean
No,
where,
yeah,
where
your
my
Dan meter,
is
right.
as
You're
far.
at a 3,
Yeah,
okay.
It's about a 3.
Even with the opening being as fast as it is.
I thought the opening was great. I'm talking about my intensity of.
Oh,
the
okay,
IMAX.
okay.
That's
Yeah.
how I look at the Dan meter. Like, what's my intensity?
Yeah.
level?
You're like,
No,
I've
I
seen
would-
people shot at baseball
I
fields
was
all the time.
Very.
Oh,
very. No, hang on. I was very appreciative of that opening scene. 'Cause
Yeah.
It's like, okay, right on, man. We're like we're jumping right in.
Home
Jumping
run.
and jumping.
But
Home run.
yeah. But the thing
Absolutely.
is, they were
Homo
like,
run.
they were like, this guy can't be out here with a
You
gun.
need to chill.
No, they were like, this guy
I
can't.
had coffee.
This guy can't be here with a gun. These kids, look away. You can't see this. And then the guy got shot. They'll be fine. They're not impressionistic right now.
I have a question before we go to you and you. Where was this movie filmed? I could have looked it up.
I
but
don't know.
Is that not here and there town?
I haven't
It
been
is.
down.
Okay,
Yeah.
so
Didn't you? I looked at. I want to shoot the movie here.
That's what I was
If I
thinking.
can
This
yeah.
is
jump
here
a
and
little
there.
bit, right, when he
Perfect.
walked out until it deserted,
Oh yeah.
that little thing,
And
it
the
was
The only
perfect.
thing missing is that I feel like in here and there we need like woods.
Yeah.
Like
Yeah.
it needs to be
Yeah.
a
But
clearing,
I
and it
even-
ought to be woods
even
all
like
around.
I
it.
agree.
The
Um,
buildings, I like how the buildings
there,
were
it was
like,
filmed in Georgia.
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 I like
Okay.
too how
And
the
even
building,
the population, I think would be great because
Like
it's only
1,200.
1,200.
Yeah, it's
That's
perfect.
I even like too how like the buildings, like some of them, like the more concrete ones, were like the roof, they were kind of falling apart.
Yeah, no,
But
it was,
let's-
it was
But let's tell
it
me
was
what Dan.
so
What
here and
Dan?
there.
What's here and there?
Here and there, there's
Every-
a screenplay that
A
we all wrote
screenplay.
together, are writing together. We've finished a couple of drafts based on the Roger Garland character,
The
which
Chronicles
which
of-
is pretty much our flagship character. We have many shorts, and we have several. And you should go to Satellite 12 Films on YouTube. You can go to Instagram, Satellite 12, and you can watch the Roger Garland little shorts, sketches, whatever you want to call them, little
Yeah.
mock commercials.
We've heard
That
this
we
man's,
do.
We've heard that man's dangerous.
That guy, that guy's scary, man. But yeah, go look, enjoy. So
Yes.
that's all. Go ahead.
That's all.
Travis, what were you?
I
like,
Oh,
go ahead.
I
No,
wasn't.
Sam,
That was Sam. I wasn't
Jump,
saying
jump,
I
anything.
love that, like, for every movie that's based in a small town, something has to happen on the baseball field.
Oh,
Absolutely.
Because
Like,
that's
is
where
that
the
a
whole
thing
town
where,
gets
like-
together.
Well, it's so
I was gonna say, is that a
it's so
thing?
Americana, right?
Mm.
Baseball is so American, and small town baseball is so always like the way the movie opens. Like, there's nothing more exciting than the first day of baseball. That's what the actual line of dialogue is, and then you cut to his high school baseball.
Yeah.
But in small towns, high school baseball, high school football,
Yeah.
I'm
Those are
assuming
big
high
things.
school basketball as well. I remember like where Joni's relatives lived, a little town in Norton, Kansas. I mean, the football field, the baseball field, they were really nice.
And everything
I mean,
else was just-
these are little small towns.
Yeah.
They take a lot of pride in their high school sports.
Have any of you seen, just real quick, the Blob remake?
I know I did not.
No.
Okay, never mind. But no, but I was saying though. But what I like though, that like kind of like a motif in this film, it's like always like like the American dream and all of that, where it's like, I noticed too, where it like starts in the baseball field, and then there's a lot of shots where it'll just cut to like the farms and the buildings, and they just kind of have like the American flag, like clearly in display. I like that. I thought it was pretty cool.
It's iconic.
Isn't it iconic?
Sam.
Yeah.
Say something.
Okay.
did.
No,
That
but
was
I
the
will
first
say
one
my
to say
more.
something.
My favorite, one of my favorite lines from the movie is right after the baseball scene. Right, they shoot Rory.
Mm-hmm.
Rory's drunk. Well, they think he's drunk, so they shoot him, and then it's Rory's wife and son, and they're at the funeral home. And then my favorite line is when Timothy Olyphant, the sheriff, tells the wife, "I liked your dad."
Yeah.
That was like,
That was so odd.
It's like, okay, other than that, it's like, yeah, I'm sorry I shot him. I didn't like him anyways. It's like, no, you don't understand. I liked your dad.
He was a drunk.
The town, don't call him the town drunk. That gets everyone mad.
I checked the timestamp,
Mm-hmm.
and that when Rory got shot, it was only 3 minutes and 33.
Whoa.
3 minutes and 33 seconds in.
I appreciate
That's
that.
fast.
I agree.
I love that.
Mhm.
I mean, I think the faster, if you're going to make a movie like this, the faster you can get into your first, I hate to say the word kill, but the faster you can get into your first action sequence, the better you are, man.
Your first murder, yes.
What the heck? What are we waiting for?
Well, and
So I liked that. I thought the movie really, because of that, it felt like it was moving.
it doesn't
It had
stop.
a nice
It
pace
does
to
not.
it built very nicely. It kept going forward.
Yeah. There wasn't a
And
lot of lull.
Even though
If
I
any.
felt like I was, I don't want to say this as a criticism because
Mhm.
I actually don't feel that way. I felt like I was a little bit ahead of the story, only because I kind of understood where we were actually going and what was
Yeah.
ultimately going to happen. That doesn't mean there weren't any twists and turns that I wasn't ready for. There were, but I was definitely ahead of where we were going because you had to. You had to assume in a movie like this that this is where we're going.
And that's
Especially when they find the plane. That's freaking crazy.
Okay, so
I actually really like that.
right.
Good.
No, I was gonna say that
reveal.
reveal is very yeah. I like that as a story device because it's kind of like I don't want to say like realistic in that this could happen exactly, but we've seen with history that the government does tend to like fuck up.
Well,
You know, dumb stuff and then
here's-
not tell you about it.
Yeah.
Well-
So that was a really realistic point in what ultimately becomes like a
Applesauce cake?
you know.
What I really liked about it too, Frank, and like I said, like realistic, it's essentially what this movie is like, we know it's a remake, but it's a B movie plot. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
It
for
totally
sure.
is a B, and it really sticks with the, like, a lot of the reveals and everything are kind of the same beats a little bit from like the original. But I really liked it's like, hey, like what if we took like a B movie plot and just made it really fast paced and really shot well movie? And I don't and like I said, I think and I don't even want to say it's like a fault really in the movie.
No,
but
it's
I will say like the thing about it that you can just easily point out is it's like, yeah, it's not 100%, it's not very original with almost everything that happens in the movie, but it's the way it's paced and shot is it moves really fast. It's a very fun movie and enjoyable to watch.
I think it's very much like a modern B movie.
Exactly. It's how you would make a modern B movie.
Exactly.
Because like I said, so in the original, like Frank, in the original movie, the whole scene with like the farmhouse and it catching on fire, it literally starts the deputy sheriff, he wakes up in his house, he's with his wife, she's like, why are you going there? It just takes
Forever.
to move anywhere.
I think the way they did
in
it
the
in this
original
movie was
movie.
good.
The
Yeah,
original.
in the original. And I will say the one thing, though, that is the big difference between the original and the remake is that, I mean, it's no surprise that it's a George Romero film. It leans way more into its symbolisms and everything, that more than, like, just being a straight-up action movie.
Can I jump in? Because I love what you're saying. Because, and pardon me for doing this, but in Jaws, the original film, they do the same. That was like the first movie that actually did what you're talking about. It had an incredible opening that sets you up, but then it really, at that point, drove the story very strong. Like it didn't like take its time to do anything. It really kept moving and kept you like, oh, worse. You know, it kept building.
I think the mayor of this town and the other one were brothers. You
I
want to
love
turn off
mayor's
the
town.
water?
Are you kidding me?
You want to turn off the? This is a crop
Yeah, we
town.
got water here. They're going nuts. Something happening. We
I
gotta
have
leave the
proof.
water on.
Look at the chain. I don't know. It's crop season.
I wrote a note. Like this is the brother of the mayor of Jaws.
Yeah.
I don't know. That water looks kind of fake. And then he tosses it.
Well, I was in a swimming pool.
Yeah. I mean, that plot point definitely feels like 70s B movie.
But and I like too how it almost
For sure.
didn't. It almost didn't even last long because literally they turn off the water, go back to their house,
and then
the
everyone's
army shows
crazy.
up.
Okay, wait. So before we get to the army stuff, can we just talk about the scene with the farmhouse on fire? Like the
Yeah,
beginning?
let's go to it. Yeah.
I love the way they set that up with the wife waking up and then seeing the lights on in the shed. And then going and then just the scale of the what's the name of that machine?
It's a Joni. What is the thing that the machine that chops up the wheat?
Is it like
Let's call it a
Oh, I think she
tractor.
has her AirPods.
There we go. Yeah. Let's just
Let's just call it a tractor.
She has her AirPods on.
What's it called, Joni?
She has her AirPods
She has her
on.
AirPods on. Just call it a tractor.
No. That's a silo. Not a silo.
Look it
Anyway,
up.
it's called a wheat harvester. It's a harvester. Yeah.
It's a harvester. So that's the thing that.
It's a combine harvester. Yeah.
There you go.
Though that thing was fucking big and
Okay,
scary.
one gripe.
Yes.
One gripe. Why the hell was she standing in front of it trying to get her husband's attention? Who
I
wasn't
agree.
even there?
Hello?
Right. And then she was
I
yelling
agree.
over.
And I thought to myself, if you die right now, well,
Not gonna be
you're an
mad.
idiot.
That wouldn't be
kinda
crazy.
your
That
fault.
wouldn't be crazy.
Ha.
Z's. Crazy.
20 cents.
All right.
But yeah.
And then-
even though it was definitely like, oh, this is like a horror movie dumb decision, I think it still worked for me in terms of like expecting something to happen and being
And
like,
didn't. And didn't. And
Yeah.
then she climbs up and opens the door and there's nobody in it.
And that was
Those
the
are all nice little moments.
that was the first time that when I was watching the movie the first time and this time as well, where like, because I'd kind of forgotten how the movie goes. Like I remember certain scenes, but I had forgotten what my opinions on it were, basically.
Oh wait, I forgot to mention I had
Uh-huh.
seen this movie already.
Oh, where did you rent it?
It was
see
no,
in
it was during
theaters?
quarantine.
That's crazy.
Oh,
Crazies. 2010.
crazy! You forgot
That
to
is
mention
crazies.
2010. Parentheses. 2010.
So that was the first point on both rewatches where I thought, oh wait, they're not gonna be like, it's not gonna go the way that I think it's gonna go. It's gonna try to subvert my expectations, and in doing so, might actually be a better movie for it.
But it subverted them again because, like I said, it had been. I hadn't seen this.
Are you speaking for Frank?
No, I'm adding on to it because I hadn't seen this movie since like came out like 2010, and so a lot of like the beats. I remember like some of the general story point beats, but a lot of details of it, like the part with the farm. I was like, okay, cool, like. That sounds weird. I was gonna say, okay, cool. The dad has a knife,
Cool.
but I'm saying the dad has the knife, so you think, okay, there's probably just gonna be like a chase throughout the house. Is gonna chase something's gonna happen, but it's straight up like dad has a knife. I can't open the door to you see the gasoline being
Yeah.
poured, and then it's like,
That
yeah,
was
we
such
just
a jump
we
in,
just
like-
killed the kid. We just killed everyone. It's like, no, they're just dead. And then they're like, yeah, when the paramedics are, they're like, yeah, we just found them outside smoking, like
What-
mowing the lawn.
What gimmick that will always get me is the keyhole. I know, like
with
an
the
eye,
eyes?
the
Oh,
eye
it
is
gets me
gonna
every
come.
time.
Yeah, but I just still jump every time.
It's because you never know when it's gonna come, and right when you're
It
like,
comes.
oh, it's not actually gonna come. It comes, like right in your eyes.
Or sometimes not at all.
Right.
No. Yep.
Yeah.
Dan's face is serene, nodding, in agreement.
What is it, Dan? They're always going and coming and coming.
Coming and going and always too soon.
I swear. But yeah.
I swear.
Now the military shows up and quarantines the town.
Well, it's National Guard.
Wait, hold on.
I-
What is the funeral scene? Not the funeral. The funeral home scene.
Mm-hmm.
The one where with the sewn mouth. Is that which?
Oh.
Or which scene is that?
No,
Before or
that's
after?
not the funeral home. Isn't that the morgue?
Yeah,
the morgue. Sorry, yeah. So is that before or after the military shows up?
Oh, that's
That's-
before.
yeah.
That's before.
Okay,
That's
so
like,
I want to.
that's
I want.
right before.
That's a cool scene.
I want to report on the Dan meter. That's my favorite scene of the whole
Mhm.
movie. Because again, for some odd reason, my worst fear is having my eyes
your-
and mouth sewn shut.
That's I
That's
wouldn't
very
want that.
specific
crazy.
I
fear.
wouldn't want that.
Crazies.
And he snips it open. He
Yeah,
says,
I think,
"Behind you."
That was
Like
great.
that was the only thing he was waiting to say.
Not help.
Yeah.
I know.
Get
dude,
me out.
Dude, my lips are like
No,
sewn
no, no,
together.
no.
Can we
See,
like get me
Dan,
out of here?
What happened was he was telling himself that, like, where is he? Oh, he's behind you.
Yeah, my Dan meter's definitely starting to rise.
Mm.
I'm into it, right?
Mhm.
So I'm like up around 5-6 right
Nice.
now, and I'm thinking, this is only gonna get higher. I felt like this was only gonna get higher.
You're on the verge of craziness, you
Yeah,
know?
it was definitely rocking, or starting to. It was starting
Mhm.
to.
The
What,
crazy
what
was
did you think
rising.
too of when the when like the what is it, the tool, to cut the
Like
bone
the bone cutter or
the
whatever.
bone cutter,
Yeah.
when it starts going after him and then it just gets stopped at the last second and the
He was
deputies
going for his gonads.
yeah, I know.
That was very
No.
Spielbergish, right?
It felt very poltergeist.
Didn't it feel very? No, it felt very action movie.
It
Like
did, yeah.
Action adventure. That moment, and stuff.
It's the boulder.
It didn't take me out of it, but it almost did for a
It
second.
almost
Yeah.
did for me because I thought that's not this movie.
Yeah.
It was a very Spielberg-esque moment.
It was almost the boulder.
Dun, dun,
Yeah.
dun, dun.
Yeah.
Was Oliphant in something
Yes.
big before this?
He was in Live Free or Die Hard.
Before
He
this,
was the
What?
villain.
Oh
Yeah.
wow! I
Yeah.
And
don't
he
remember.
was in I wouldn't call it big. It was trying to be big, but it just didn't take off. He was Agent 47 in like the Hitman movie,
Yeah.
based off the
The
video
bald dude.
game. Yeah, the bald
Yeah.
guy with the
He was in
barcode
Scream
on his head.
2.
Yeah, and he was in Scream too.
What?
Yeah,
I don't
he-
remember.
He was the
Who did he
boyfriend.
play?
Stop! I don't remember.
He played in Scream 2?
Yeah, he was the killer.
He was the killer. He was the
Oh, you're right.
yeah.
he was also in Deadwood.
And
Yeah.
then so then Justified's after the Crazies,
Yay.
because that was kind of big.
Yeah, I think Justified was the big one. Yeah. It was around the same time. It was 2010.
Okay.
But he was also in one of my favorites, A Perfect Getaway.
Oh,
2009.
yeah. Is that with
forgot
Mila?
about
Is that
that.
with Mila Jovovich?
Yes.
He was the
Yeah.
other couple.
Yes.
Yeah.
He's so good at that. Honestly, that movie's like for me, it's like an underrated gem.
I'm
I
gonna
really
tell
love
you
it.
Same.
this,
It was a great
I-
plot twist.
I
Right?
think Timothy Olyphant is great in a lot of things.
Yeah.
I think he's a very
Good-looking
underused-
man.
Yeah,
Oh.
I'm not gonna argue with that. Gets better with age too.
He does.
Yeah.
No,
Dan's face is
I
serene
would like-
disappointment.
I would-
military coming in.
I would like to see him in more things.
Well, they are if they see Timothy Olyphant.
Oliphant?
Yeah, I like him. I think he's a good actor.
Every
No,
single
no,
thing.
I agree.
You said we're moving on from this.
Singing in the Rain remake.
I want to
Timothy
get
Olyphant.
into the military.
National Guard.
Yes.
So,
So they come.
they feel like they're just as much the bad guys as the infected, which I
100%.
guess is the idea.
Yeah. Okay.
Obviously.
What would any of you have done? So in the scene, they're in the farmhouse, and
I'd
they
kill myself.
they hit they take one of the soldiers kind of hostage for a second to get info, and then he's like, "Hey, I'm not gonna say anything."
You're jumping way
Whoa,
ahead.
Yeah, this
whoa,
is
I'm-
way
I
ahead.
don't know. I didn't know
Whoa.
we're going beat by beat
What?
by the movie.
Well,
Well, it's because that's kind of how it's like.
But wait,
going.
okay.
what's-
But
who
you're
are
at the very end now.
Who are you talking
No,
about?
I'm like halfway.
the guy that crashed the car.
no,
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 he's
go
talking
on.
about at the very end when they
That's not the very end.
It's
That's
before.
like halfway.
It's
Almost
before
the
the crash.
end.
It's
It's like
before the
way-
The
crash.
guy that crashed the car and pull him out.
No, no, no,
and-
no, no,
and
no,
the
no.
Yeah, it's
deputy-
before that.
The soldier. The soldier. They.
I don't
No, we're
remember
talking
that.
about the first time the military arrives.
Okay.
Yeah.
Go on.
Okay, so what
Man,
what
you like to
happened was.
jump around like a jackrabbit.
Oh.
Yuck.
So yeah, the military arrives and they're checking people's temperatures.
And then the wife gets taken away.
Is
the
he
wife gets
drying his
taken-
neck off? What's going on?
Oh,
Yeah.
we forgot to say that she's
she's
pregnant.
preggers.
We don't know that yet.
No, we do.
No, I don't.
No,
think
we
did.
don't. We
They
find
made the nursery.
you don't.
Yeah.
They made a room. The
They
room
show
in the
that
house.
later. They show that.
No, they didn't.
Oh,
there
I
was a
missed that.
nursery
I missed that
in the
detail.
house.
Yeah, you bitch.
Because
I
I
don't-
thought
I don't know what
I
a
thought the
nursery
reveal
is.
was
What
I
is
thought the
that?
reveal was after because they were like, oh, that's why they took her away because she has a fever because she's pregnant. And then that's when the deputy goes, oh, congratulations.
No, it was like right after
Oh,
he
okay.
shot Rory, and then like they woke up, or she woke up. He wasn't in bed, and he was like sawing something in a pork.
I just realized that that's what that was.
Anyway,
I don't
who
have
wants to
kids,
take
I
the lead
don't-
on this?
Go ahead, Dan.
I can't. I don't know where we are.
I didn't know we were going scene by scene.
We're not
No,
going
but I
scene
mean-
by scene.
I don't want to jump way ahead, then go back, then go ahead, then go back,
No, there was like a shot.
and then go ahead and then go back.
There was a shot of like the map, and then it goes initiating quarantine or something.
Can somebody
Yeah.
explain why the map kept showing up?
It
I don't
wasn't
like
a map.
it.
That was surveillance.
Yeah, I don't
didn't
like
like
it.
it either.
I think that's one. I think they could have taken that out too. To me, it
I
was a
agree.
little,
I think
it's
they
a-
they were it was their
Gimmicky.
way of it definitely feels like one of those things that was tacked on at the end just to make sure that the audience knows what's
editing.
going on.
Right.
Yes.
Yeah, it's one of those where it's like
It's a little
get
jarring.
Get it? They're
Yeah,
being
I-
watched. Governments.
Yeah,
the government knows
I
everything.
didn't care for it.
Yeah.
It took me out every time. they
Same.
did
And
it.
I will say this too. I even didn't like it at the ending.
No.
Well,
it
I
was
don't
even
like it at
worse
the ending
end.
because it does that thing that 2000s movies did
It
a
sets
lot.
up.
Dun,
yeah,
dun,
it's like
dun.
Without
actually
setting up. It's
what
like-
happened was no.
It kind of feels like Resident Evil. Like
yes,
where it could have just literally ended with them just walking to the next town. It's like we could have figured
that would
out.
have been fine. Yeah.
Wait, so when did the military show up?
The military show up when they're at their I think they're are they leaving the morgue? I think they're leaving somewhere and they just show up out of nowhere.
Yeah, they got thrown into the school bus,
Yeah.
Yeah.
but I don't remember.
It's after the morgue. It's right after the morgue. Yes, Dan.
I don't know where I'm jumping because I'm a little confused about where we are in the story.
Uh-huh.
But the scene where they're all tied up, and when his wife is tied down and the friend is tied down,
Oh, that's next.
that's next.
Yeah.
That scene with the mayor, I think it was the mayor, dragging that bloodied pitchfork
Yeah.
around. That scene was intense, man.
I
Yeah.
thought that was
It was
like that-
intense.
I thought no,
It was intense.
I thought that was the guy,
That wasn't the mayor?
coach, the baseball coach guy that was
Oh,
trying
I
to get
thought it was
out
the
of the
mayor
parking
guy.
ticket.
Oh, okay.
That was my understanding.
Oh, I thought that was the mayor. Okay.
I don't
Either
know.
way,
Hey,
that's
hey,
fine.
hey, the sheriff doesn't pay for coffee.
Yeah,
We're
But he has to
talking
pay his
about the
parking
same.
ticket.
We're talking about the same guy though.
yeah,
When he's dragging that pitchfork on the floor.
yeah.
That's a really good
That's the
scene.
poster
That
of the
scene-
movie.
That is a really good scene.
I think that
I agree.
they showed that scene in some of the TV spots and trailers, and that's the scene that got me going, ooh, this might be good.
Yum.
This
is a
might be
little
fun.
Yeah, yeah. No, that scene is that scene, and I kept thinking. Part of me was like, is he crazy or is he killing crazies? And we're gonna find out. Oh, he's okay. And there's like this part in my head, like he's gonna go up to the wife and go, "Oh,
Oh, you're okay. Come with me.
You're okay. Come with me." I mean, there's like my brain was going so many different directions in that
Mhm.
scene.
Mhm.
Like, what the fuck?
I don't know, Dan. Like if I was just hunting crazies, I wouldn't drag a pitchfork like
Oh
that.
my god! Right.
That's
That's
for
just
dramatic
me.
effect.
I agree.
That's just
I
me.
agree.
Like I would
I
have been
was-
like, no. I knew right away. I'm like, no, that guy's crazy.
I was being hopeful. That's all.
Where-
That would get you killed in this situation, Dan. You're
And
not making it.
And it did.
Where was your Dan meter at that point?
Pretty
That
high.
scene? Yeah.
It was rocking pretty high. I
Yeah.
was all in.
Was it synthetic?
At this point? At this point in the movie, I was all in for. God, I hope somebody gets out of this okay. That was one of the things I was thinking. Is this going to be one of those movies where nobody gets out? This
Well-
is like we're all effed. We're
Well,
all
I mean,
effed.
they-
Or is it going to be one of those movies where there will be some kind of our hero gets out? It's,
Mhm.
you know, there's a better tomorrow for everyone.
Well,
kind
And
of
then they
And at
realize
this-
they're having
yeah.
a hallucination and they're still in
Then
the
they
cave.
wake up, they're still asleep at home. Phone rings. Hey, someone's dead.
Well, I'm saying at this point, like you said, you don't know too because it's like they already kind of like they already let us know that like no one was safe. It's like, oh, they already killed the kid. You know, they can kill the wife. They
See,
can
that's
kill
the
anyone.
thing. When you start killing kids, which
They
I
killed the
don't
kid?
like,
yeah, the
in
one
the
that-
house
the one in the
burning.
house.
Oh,
Yeah.
right.
That's why I'm like,
the
yeah,
we
no
knew
one's-
that.
no one's safe.
I'm
No.
at that point. I'm like,
Yeah,
That's
that was
Kind of
sad.
rough.
they don't
Oof.
care. They don't care.
No,
Ugh.
no one's safe.
But yeah, that happened.
A few scenes before that, when the wife was on the stretcher
Uh-huh.
and it was doing the POV, it reminded me of a video game.
Yeah.
Oh well, I
Really?
I really
I don't play
like-
video
no,
games.
I
so I
really-
have
Me
no
neither, but
idea.
Not yet.
It's a shot, like I said. I mean, it's also in Cabin Fever. Like I said, it's a shot that we've seen in like a lot of movies with the hospital. But I really liked how it would cut from like the POV shot of like the ceiling tiles and the lights to it would just cut to like the hotel room, the hospital rooms, and you would just see people getting attacked, people acting
Mhm.
crazy. I thought that was really cool. It was like an added little.
Yeah.
It heightened up that shot a little bit. Something we've never seen.
Yeah.
The way they cut those two together.
Mm-hmm.
So yeah, they escaped.
Okay, so
Yes.
my second gripe
Oh my.
Out
out of probably 3.
5.
Oh,
So
Okay.
one every scene.
one everything.
You're gonna give this 3 out of 5 gripes.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. I lost. So can we jump a little bit ahead? Do we need to talk about how they got the wife? They reconnected him and the wife. Do we need to talk about it?
No.
No.
Are you gonna jump after the whole boyfriend dying thing?
No.
Okay.
I'm jumping to when they got back to the house, and Rory's wife and kid were in there.
Oh, okay. I think it's.
Oh.
I think it's.
That's right.
Yeah. It's after that. I just want to say,
Yeah.
like, before we get there
Right.
though, like they do kill Becca's boyfriend, the assistant.
Oh, what's this after?
That's after, but
Okay.
we don't really need to talk about it. I just want to say that I hate that trope. The oh my god, no, it's okay. So hey, I'm not infected, and then they get shot, and then people that are like watching are like, oh my god, that person got shot. It's like, yeah, no fucking duh.
This is private property.
The-
It's
the-
like, well, clearly
like
they're
the
setting.
lack of survival instincts in movies among survivors. Like I get it, some people would. It's just really annoying to see.
Well, that's the thing too. It's like, you know, they're
I
already
agree.
they're lighting people on. It's like, yeah, no, they're not here to like let you go.
Yeah.
They're not just gonna say, you're not gonna say go away, and they're gonna be like, okay.
You're not gonna be like, wait, that's my mom,
Yeah.
and they're gonna be like, oh, I'm sorry. Hold on, let me
Whoops.
unshoot you.
Whoopsie.
But going to that scene, oh no, you're gonna say your gripe, or is that your gripe?
No, it was. So when the wife, what's her name? The wife's name?
Wife.
Rory's, not
Wife.
Rory's wife.
Doctor wife.
Dutton, Dr. Wife.
Peggy.
When she got into the nursery,
I know that. Yeah.
The nursery.
the nursery. I liked the pop up of the mom and the son. I thought that was really cool.
Yeah.
All that scene was great.
However.
My gripe is that when Oliphant's character stabbed the son or the son, you know how he got stabbed in the hand?
Yes.
That was brutal.
I love that scene, like
That
how he
was
killed
brutal.
those two. However, when the mom bled on his arm, why didn't he get
get
infected?
That was my thing too. I was
That
like,
was like my
I was
biggest
thinking, I was like,
gripe.
oh, he's totally infected now.
Right.
Well, not only that, but like he had to
But
pull
was
the
that
knife
a thing
out.
in the movie that
Yeah.
blood would make you
Well,
infected?
I mean, okay.
I don't remember
here's
that being a
here's
thing.
here's
But
my
like, you
thought
think about it
process.
logically
No,
here.
no. I understand what you're saying, but that wasn't like that other movie we saw where you get the blood on
28
you.
days later.
Yeah.
That
But
wasn't
here's
a,
my
that
thing,
wasn't
though.
a thing.
That's
But-
true. They don't really establish
it's all
the
water. It's
method.
about drinking the water.
It goes from
Right, but
water
like
to being
blood.
airborne,
But
but
it's
they
not-
never explain if it's also
No, they
Like-
don't explain a lot.
But
in
here's
this
the
movie
thing,
about how
which works, I
Yeah.
guess.
Dan,
it allows you to get away with stuff.
But
for
it's
sure.
not the water itself. Like I said, it's the toxin inside. So I'm like, well, if the toxin's in the water and you drink it, I'm like, is the toxin in your blood? Is it in your stream?
Yeah, I get you, but I didn't think about that at all.
I did.
Well, you should start thinking about it, Dan.
You don't
Well, I guess I will now. I
but
loved this movie
yeah.
till now. I don't like it at all anymore.
but
Perfect.
Dan,
Hey.
Sam,
That's
Call me
Sam.
Dan.
Sam. So going into
Hey,
that, scene-
Travis.
So now, Rory's husband, not sorry, wife and kid,
Mm-hmm.
they kill them. They go back into the barn
Mm-hmm.
and they find the soldier in the barn. And the soldier, they hit the soldier over the head.
right.
They knock him,
I
and then the
forgot about
soldier
that.
says, "Let me go. I promise.
Yeah,
I won't say anything." He goes, "I didn't sign up for this to kill innocent people.
Mm-hmm.
If you were in that situation, would you have let him go?"
I think out of anger, I would have shot him. Not gonna
Well,
lie
if
to
you
you.
shoot him, then they would have still attracted.
It's
would have attracted.
a tough moment watching it as a movie because I was like, yeah, you're going to let him go because if you shoot him after he says that taints your character.
Yeah, well,
But I was fully expecting him to expose them.
yeah, well, that's the thing. It's like,
You know
well,
what I'm saying? But if he says, please don't shoot me, I promise you won't, and then you shoot him, that changes your character.
yeah. Well, even
That's
then,
why
I'm
they
just
didn't do it.
Well,
But I fully expected him to expose
Dan,
them.
I mean more as in, would you have
If
risked?
you were in that situation,
If you were in that situation, would you have risked the life of your wife and the other people?
If I was in that situation, I would have been dead by the first 10 minutes.
we know that.
I
You
mean,
would've-
I'd be the
Dan,
first guy to go.
Dan,
Are you
you
kidding
would have
me?
been. You would have been walking out in the baseball
Oh
field.
yeah, I'm dead in the very first scene.
Flashback to me saying I would kill myself.
If I knew what was going on,
Yeah. Right? We'd not.
Eh, you know what you do, Dan? You just go in your den,
Listen.
get the bottle of Jack, and turn on the TV.
I have two things I would like to discuss here. Oh,
Okay.
I've got a lot of notes here.
That's too much.
Car wash sequence.
Oh, I
Jump in.
love.
Oh, Dan was saying the same.
Right before you walked
I was saying
in.
the same thing. That's crazy.
No, right before you walked in.
Crazies.
Right before
That
you
you
walked
love the
Sam,
car wash sequence.
Right before you walked in, we kind of like, someone had just said car wash between the three of us, and then Dan said, I bet you someone here is going to love that scene. And then you walked in, and then now you're the one.
I really like that scene.
I
Why
did
didn't
too. I did too. I'm sorry.
I would have really liked it if it had been like a here and there kind of movie where it was like more
comical?
comedy.
But it's not.
I know.
But it's still, for me.
To me, it just didn't fit in this movie.
For
it
me,
was
like,
too over the top.
You don't see it anywhere else, like
No,
using
no.
a car wash as like
Yeah.
a place.
I agree
to,
with you, and I don't disagree with anything that happened in it. I just feel like it didn't fit with the tone of the rest of the movie.
Small, I mean,
That's my feeling. It took me out for
invalid.
sure.
Invalid.
It took me out of the movie. I was
Invalid.
like, this would be great. I even thought about our movie. This would have been great in here and there. This would be a really fun.
It would have
scene.
been great if someone just got yanked out of the back seat.
It just
hung.
felt very
Hung.
not the rest
Hung.
of the movie.
Hanged.
For me.
I kind of I see
Hanged.
how it does kind of work where you
Donged.
get
What?
like a small town, they go in the car. It's like, oh yeah, the workers there, but at the same time, I'm like, why would they still be there?
Because they're
But,
infected.
Yeah, but secondly, I'm like,
They're
I mean,
still working.
but I'm saying,
Still washing your
but I'm
cars.
saying, to me,
We're
and
crazy.
and
We're not
Dan,
that crazy.
No,
They gotta make money.
Frank and Sam, I agree with them that where I'm thinking, a part of me like, and then I do like it because I'm like, yeah, this is something I've literally like never seen.
It also builds tension
No,
really
ever.
well.
I really liked it.
Yeah.
But
It
you didn't
just
think it fit.
Right.
It didn't fit in the movie.
If you
for
just
me.
isolate that scene, right, you would like it more.
It needed to be more of a, like I said, a little
A movie
more of
about car washes, like
a
I
little
don't
more
know.
Shark Tale.
a little more over the top kind of movie.
No, I understand what you're talking
This
about.
was not that kind.
I think
of
it
movie.
would have worked better
Dan,
if it was a comedy.
I'm
Yeah,
gonna-
I understand.
You know what?
Or
Not
a
in this
horror
movie.
with more humor.
I'm
Yeah.
gonna give you
like
a spoiler
ours,
here.
Right.
Like our movie.
Yeah.
I'm gonna give you a spoiler here.
Okay.
There was actually another movie, a horror movie I've seen a car wash scene in, which was a Final Destination movie.
Oh boy.
And none of them connect to the other one.
No, I was saying, would you have expected this? Because you said like a horror, like over the top movie. So I'm saying, do you think it would be more fitting in something like that?
Maybe I think more of a
See, that's where I'm
comical-
linking it.
More of a comical kind of movie
Yeah, well, and
where
it-
you're accepting this
Yeah.
sort of stuff to happen.
Yeah,
Well,
I can see it
and
in
you
like
could
Eli
enjoy it
Roth,
more
like Thanksgiving.
Not comedically, you know what I mean? More like, oh, this is sort of
well,
a fun kind of
I think
wacky thing.
I think that scene fits well with the version of the Crazies that the morgue scene fits into. You know what I mean? That like heightened action
Yeah.
horror kind of thing. I still enjoy it because I think it uses the idea of a car wash and like its many cycles really well to build tension and stuff. But it does feel like it definitely feels a little more actiony. I don't mind it, but I
It's
do.
a car wash.
But I do mind.
But
The-
someone with the claustrophobia will like.
Yes, I
And you're
think that
trapped in the car.
Car washes are fun though.
but
I was afraid of them when I was younger.
I do like
Yeah,
car washes.
but-
I
I
was
like
in
them now.
I was in one today.
Yeah.
I love them.
yeah,
I
Just
love
on a
sitting in my
loop.
car where they're going
Just
through.
on a loop.
slightly,
Love it.
slightly off
It's
topic.
his third go.
Yeah, yeah. Dan's coming around again. He has a stamp card.
One more time,
Yeah.
please.
Slightly off topic, but slightly related. Like I think just another movie too with a
That is
car
weird.
wash, where I think it's heightened, but I think it kind of works a
Is
bit.
the movie Car Wash?
No, have any of you? There's this movie. You guys know the director Joe Lynch?
Yes.
Yeah.
Personally.
My buddy, yeah.
He directed this movie with Anthony Mackie, and it's like an action movie.
What's it called?
I'll get the title in a minute.
Okay.
But it's very much kind of feels like an 80s, 90s action movie, like set pieces.
Cop car. I'm just
No.
kidding.
Cop
And
out.
I think it works. The car washing works because they literally have like an Indiana Jones, like really, like
At the car wash.
you know in like Indiana Jones, like in the scene in the first movie in Raiders where he's like at the air, where he's fighting the guy by the airplane. It's really long and drawn out. You know, we're sponging and it has like the propeller
terminal.
blade. You see that? I was saying I think it works out where it's like they take that,
Forrest
but
Gump.
they have the fight scene. They literally have a fight scene in a car wash. So they're like fist fighting, but they're going through.
I don't think you can compare that airplane scene in Indiana Jones with that scene.
Well, I'm just saying how
Not
it's like.
even close.
I'm just saying it's long.
How dare you, in fact. That
Okay.
scene is so brilliantly shot and set up.
As a matter of fact,
But I'm saying in the style of the way it's shot, and I'm saying it feels like
Don't
it's-
see it at
I'm
all.
saying it's. Do you know what movie I'm talking about?
Talking about this car wash scene.
I'm not talking about the Crazies at all.
Oh. Hey, hang on. I should listen when you're talking.
Yeah.
It's hard to.
But I
sometimes.
don't.
Dan, take your pills.
Okay, I'll be right back.
So
Okay, I'm good.
No, I'm over it. Okay, so let's continue.
I apologize. I literally thought you were talking
It's
about
too late.
it's too late to apologize.
Yeah.
Well, then you know what?
It's too late.
So I don't know if I'm here yet, but I would. When we get there, I want to talk about when they knock that car over and they get the
We're right there,
the
actually.
FBI, not FBI guy,
The agent, like the government agent.
the government agent guy.
The G-man, basically.
So do we all remember this scene?
Yes, with the spike strip.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay, so that guy, his
You
name
knew
is
that guy.
his name is Glenn Morshower.
Did you do a commercial with him?
I went to high school with him.
No way.
No.
Did you recognize him right away?
Well, just to be clear, Glenn Morshower has been a very heavily working actor for like the last 30 years.
Oh, he has?
He was on 24 as a regular. He's been in many movies. He always plays an FBI guy or a CIA guy or
big
a government
character
guy.
actor.
Always plays the same thing.
He's got that look.
Yeah, we went to high school, all the way through high school together. We were very good friends.
Oh wow.
And we don't really stay in touch now. I stayed in touch with him for a little while out here, but we've kind of gone in different directions. But in terms of
He started in movies. And
yeah, he was successful. I wasn't.
You're doing Roger
Just kidding.
Garland.
Yeah,
Just
I'm
kidding.
Roger Garland. He's making a living. No, more just personality, different directions.
Yeah, like it happens.
But yeah, no, we did a bunch of stuff in high school together, and we stayed really good friends for a while out here. I moved out here first. He moved out here later.
second.
Done very well.
He copied you.
He's had a very, very good career, though. I mean, you would be well, you wouldn't because you don't. I don't either.
That's surprising.
Watch network TV, but he does a ton of network TV, like cop shows and stuff like that. He's been very,
Yeah.
very, very well employed.
So what you're
So-
saying is that you keep track of his career.
When I saw him, I was like, "Oh my God, there's Glenn!"
And then he was gone.
And I thought, "Oh, great, good for you. Oh, you're dead." Okay, that was a one-scene moment.
Hey,
So that was like 14 years
hey,
ago. So
hey, he talked.
he had some lines. Good for him.
Well, no, that was the thing. Hey, I wanted to talk to him. He talked.
He talked.
By that point, did you think, okay, there's something definitely wrong with the
With-
deputy?
Yeah.
Okay, my
Yes.
third gripe.
Please, I may agree with you on this one.
So like from the get go, we can obviously see who the Crazies are
Mhm.
with how they act or lack thereof.
It's a very jarring, like,
Just like a
It's very clear because
disassociation.
they're like
right, blank face.
disconnected.
But like with him, for me, it seems like he's just acting this way because he's a deputy
he's
and
a
he
douche.
that too. But he's angry, you know. So it's like he just wants to get shit done. Let's go. So the wife was just like no, she's not a bitch.
trifling. No, she
Trifling.
wasn't.
Are
She
you
wasn't.
talking about Oliphant's wife?
Huh?
Yes.
Oliphant's wife?
Yeah.
The
I
doctor.
With her like
I liked her.
same, but like her questioning it, I didn't agree with her questioning.
That's to me that was forced in the script.
Yeah, just to give you that tension, but
Yes.
I just didn't agree with it.
I agree with you.
Thank you.
No,
That's it.
I could roll back to my notes, but early on, one of my notes said, "Oh, this deputy's not going to survive." I figured he's going to become one of the Crazies for sure, because that's an easy dump.
And he's
for
gonna
him
be
to
the
be
he's
one.
gonna be the sacrifice at the end or
Right.
something.
I didn't think that through as well.
Yeah.
But I definitely thought, oh yeah, he's definitely going to be
And-
become one of the Crazies.
Yeah.
I didn't like the way it went down.
How so?
I did.
Did you?
Yeah. 'cause
The
hero
sacrifice
death?
thing.
Oh no,
Yeah.
no. You mean the way he sacrificed
Yeah.
himself? No, I liked that.
Oh,
I
okay,
didn't
okay.
like the way.
they set him up.
Well, no, just the way
They
he wasn't
invited
acting
you.
like one of the
Yeah.
Crazies.
Yeah.
Like he was too logical and too still.
Right.
Like
Well,
what?
And it's one of those things where like they gave him enough time to like act out his arc, much like when a main character gets shot, it takes a while for you to die
Right.
because you got to get your shit out. Like
Well, and
I don't see it.
They
Yeah.
kind of.
I still at this point don't know
Very-
if he
yeah.
actually was one of the Crazies.
Well, they very loosely.
Yeah, I agree with you.
yeah.
So I guess they were successful.
I think
Wait a minute.
they very, very, very loosely
yeah.
kind of give somewhat a hey, this is a if anyone ever questions this, remember they're like it kind of hints it a little bit, and I think it's just a general blanket. Well, it's when they're talking with the G-Man, the government agent, and they go, "Oh, how long is the incubation?"
Oh, within 24 hours.
And then he's like, "Well, it's sometime within 48 hours, so it can be any time. Maybe they already have it."
Loosey goosey.
It's very loosey goosey.
I think
But
that
I
explanation
agree.
comes at the point where they want you to be like, oh, I guess they're okay because of the whole hand thing. Because it happened before, right?
Mm-hmm.
But they don't explain that, whether you can get infected through blood or not. So I feel like that was their way of just,
Tying
like,
the loose ends.
yeah, they were like, okay, they're not actually infected, so just let it go.
I have a question, and I'm jumping to the end.
Can I say something
Please,
first?
please.
But I don't see. It brings up a good point because I didn't think about this. Like, oh, was he really infected or not? Because there's the scene towards the end. Well, not towards the end, but the scene kind of the end of his journey.
Who's
where
his?
The deputy, when he kind of freaks out and he takes the guns and is chasing him, and then the Timothy Olyphant's like, oh, just come closer. I just want to talk. Just want to talk. And he punches him in the face, and it kind of breaks him out of the trance. And he goes, oh, like I'm not doing well, am I? But then it goes. It's like, was he really infected, or was he really just like the stress of like the whole situation?
No,
Right.
but remember early in the movie when his wife was talking to the guy who ended up burning the house down, and she talking to him, and
He kept
kinda
repeating.
came out of it. Oh no, my wife, she's just worried.
Yeah.
He came out, she snapped out of it.
That's what I was thinking.
So I'm thinking that was kind of the setup for that.
Yeah.
I think he was infected for
Yeah.
sure. Absolutely.
The deputy?
What?
The deputy?
Yeah, I do.
I don't know.
I mean, I went with it.
But
I mean,
but like I said, and we don't know how long. Like I said, even when they get sick, like, okay, well, how long is going to be the gradual, like, descent?
No, we didn't know because we weren't given a clear path on any character.
No.
Where we saw them get infected and then become crazy. We didn't see that on any character.
And like it's yeah.
Well, every character any character we saw crazy, we didn't see them
There were either
Turning.
the journey to getting there.
and there was and some of the characters, like I said, there was a lot of time, like 2 days, like between when they last saw that said character.
I have a question though. Help me out here because you know how I fall asleep sometimes in movies?
Yep.
Were we made aware that they're going to nuke this town?
No,
Okay, good.
we find out at the very
when it happens.
yeah, and then there's a couple.
Which is, that's weird that it wasn't kind of set up. Isn't
they
it
do a little bit. They do a little
Oh,
bit.
when? Tell me.
Because okay, not that they were gonna nuke it, but it's like okay. So remember, basically if Timothy Olyphant and the deputy stuff, if they never escaped, they would have been killed. Because remember, they find out where they find the bus, and they find all the bodies in the bus.
Yes.
And they've been charred, and then they realize, oh shit, like, no, they're at the point now where they're just killing everyone.
No, but that doesn't lead us to they're going to nuke the
But
town.
I'm saying at that point you can kind of piece like, oh yeah, they're just gonna nuke it.
I didn't piece that together.
I just figured they're gonna.
No, for me it was more of like they tricked those people into thinking that they were gonna go transfer somewhere else, but really
then they killed
got
them.
charred.
But
well, that's yes, I get that.
But yeah, but I agree with you. I don't think for me I didn't see the hint
when that
towards
nuke went off, I
Yeah.
was like,
Well,
what?
they hinted it a bit because you heard on the radios they were talking.
that was the hint for me.
They were
Oh,
talking
okay.
about it,
Yeah.
See, I missed that.
and they were pretty much saying like, "Hey, like, it's
But that was
last
when-
ditch because they've lost control."
but that
Okay.
was when the wife and the
And if they
husband
don't-
were
and-
like
yeah.
leaving
yeah,
town.
I missed
And
that.
if they don't nuke it, like, there's no control. Like they have.
Well, is that just a hint, or is that an actual really hard hammered
oh, they told
moment?
you. I
Okay.
thought you
I
knew.
I,
I
just
thought.
I missed it.
I thought you knew, but that, and I misspoke. I don't mean hint. I just mean like gradually it will then lead. Like it was no surprise
okay.
that they would. End
That's
up
fine.
doing it.
I mean, I will admit that I missed it.
Yeah, because
Um,
like I said, even then too at the ending when they do the little like POV satellite shot again, it's like, oh, now we're gonna like do the same thing but to that bigger town.
Okay, so given that, Indiana Jones and the Crystal Skull. Remember the whole nuclear thing, and he's inside the
The fridge.
refrigerator
Yeah,
box.
nuke the fridge.
Okay, so that was ridiculous. No way that they survive that, and even if you survive that, you don't survive
You're dead.
what you just were involved in. They're not going to survive this nuclear thing. They were in the middle You know how many miles away you have to be from a nuclear explosion to a
Probably like 20 miles.
Yeah, and they weren't.
Well, no.
So that was
Hadn't they
stupid.
just started driving?
Well,
They
also
were
too.
in the middle.
you know what's
not
gonna
in the middle. I mean,
you know-
they were outside of it. But
Now
I mean,
she's gonna have like a Kuatu like baby.
I mean, I don't want to make that a major point, but those kind of things always
Okay,
annoy me
Dan,
because I know we all are very much aware of what nuclear waste and fallout does to people. So
Sam.
you can't just wow. You can't just have that happen and not have anybody go,
You know why?
you're not
you know,
surviving.
You know why I was able to like? I mean, yes, it makes us.
You
but
survive the
I will
blast.
s-
You're
I
not going
will
to survive
say-
5 years from now.
The thing about it though is, I will say that shot though, when they're standing, and then they're in the foreground, and the background's the nuclear blast, and the way they're standing, I was like, well, that's a beautiful shot.
Oh, it's gorgeous.
It's gorgeous. But yeah, no, they're dead.
But
No,
also,
no,
they're
it's-
going
it
to grow
was-
3 arms.
But no, they're dead.
It was great. But the baby that's being born,
That's not gonna.
Yeah.
No, I agree with you, but I think at
That's
this,
the sequel.
But even at this point, it's like you don't know. It's like they could be infected. They can get picked off still.
I don't think that's what's being sold. What's
No,
being
I'm not
sold
saying
is
it's
they
not-
escaped, they're good, we're walking away.
For
And this-
now.
For now.
Yeah, maybe, but there's no sequel. Which, by the way, I'm shocked there aren't like 5 crazy
Straight to
movies.
DVD. Yeah, Crazies 2, like the next day.
I don't think they should press their luck.
No, but I'm saying
Crazies
no.
2, 5 minutes later.
No, but what I'm saying, like, not, you get a lot of, like, minor successes now, and it's like they live on, like, Netflix or, like, straight to DVD, where they get, like, 50 sequels with, like, none of the
That's
original.
true.
That's what I'm
Scorpion
surprised.
King.
Yeah, I'm surprised we don't, like you said, we don't have any of those.
The Crazies.
Like, I think-
Crazier.
Like, I even think,
Crazier, craziest.
yeah.
Even more crazy.
Plain crazy.
Like, I think they
Plain
even did it
crazy.
too. Like, I think
Fucked up crazy.
didn't they do, like, a direct streaming sequel to, like, that Pet Cemetery remake?
Did they?
Probably.
Okay, I say we go to final thoughts.
Okay, I'll go first.
Go.
So I said it a little bit before. but
Oh, wait. Before we go to final thoughts, sorry.
Oh my god.
Did you look up who directed this movie?
I did.
I did not.
No, this guy.
Did you
Okay,
look up who
this
directed this movie?
director is
No.
Breck
Breck
Eisner.
Eisner.
Who's
Okay, great.
Okay,
Mhm.
he's career.
that? He's
It's-
career.
His career.
It's like 3 kind of like mid-grade like action movies.
Some big flops in
Some
there.
big flops.
Sahara.
Sahara, which actually I enjoyed in theaters when we watched
Yeah.
it. as kids.
He also. Did,
Wait, who's in that?
Matthew McConaughey, Penelope
it was
Cruz,
supposed to
and
be. It was supposed to be the
Yes,
next
yes.
Indiana Jones.
yeah, and it was definitely a film.
And I will say though, his
Film?
Film.
his career, I mean, like I said, it's a hey. When you're starting out in the, you don't always get to pick what you want to do. And I still think it's funny though how he literally did one of the worst movies ever was that movie A Sound of Thunder,
Heard of
I haven't seen that one.
based off of the.
A teen book written.
No,
You
It's
never read
based
the
off a book, but no, it's not a young adult. It's my mind. Sorry, my mind's like it's the guy. I think
Do
it's
we
based off of
care?
Ray Bradbury. But no. But anyways, his career is just wild. And then I think he did the Crazies in one other movie, and that was it.
He did the Crazies. He did that. He did the Last Witch Hunter.
Oh,
which is Vin
that was the last
Diesel's-
film he did. His
Yeah.
Dungeons and Dragons movie.
Yeah, he was also supposed to do something else that was kind of like.
I think he probably just does a lot of TV.
he does do mostly TV, but I mentioned him because he's actually Michael Eisner's son.
Oh, really?
Yes,
oh,
his first name's
wow.
Michael Eisner. Michael Breck was Michael Breckenridge
I think-
Eisner.
We know somebody who works for Michael Eisner.
Really? Who?
I'll tell you offline.
Oh, okay. But he was supposed to direct the okay. So after the Crazies, he kind of got a little bit before, but for the Crazies, he actually kind of got thrown in to direct a bunch of like remakes. So before the Crazies, he was supposed to direct a remake of Creature from the Black Lagoon.
Oh.
Classic.
But it got dropped in 2009. Didn't mention anything about it. And then he directed the Crazies remake. And then he was attached to direct Flash Gordon and the Brood remakes.
Oh, those.
He was
never
also
happened.
rumored to direct an Escape from New York remake.
Oh, that was from. Yeah,
Yes.
that was from a while. The one. Yeah. That's.
And then again, like I said, he was supposed to direct the Karate Kid remake.
Which is coming out. The trailer just dropped today. It links Ralph Macchio with Jackie Chan.
Ralph Macchio.
Ralph Macchio.
Okay.
It sounded like you said a Ralph Raccio.
You said Ratio the first
I did
time.
not hear
Ratchet.
Ralph Macchio.
Ratchet
Well,
Ralph.
that's what I'm saying now, Ralph Macchio. All right, Dan.
But,
what are your
yeah.
final thoughts?
I am
Wait,
not
aren't you
starting.
done with
You
yours?
were
I know,
supposed
I
to do
was
your
just
final
like- 'cause
thoughts.
Dan
I just wanted to
looks-
bring that up because
Dan looks like he's getting a
feel
little antsy.
I'm ready to go, man.
That's-
You're ready to
Let's
go.
Ramp it
Fancy.
up, baby.
Okay, so I think objectively, this film, like I was saying earlier, it's not 100%.
Wait, what did you say earlier?
That's what I'm trying to say.
Don't.
No, it's like
Don't
like
start
I
him.
said
No.
earlier, but then
And
you
I was
weren't going to
gonna
say it.
because then you made a look. So I was like, "What are you gonna say?" Is that this film isn't 100% original? It is very.
What?
What
It is
is a
very
remake?
much at its core.
Is it a remake?
Yes, and that's not.
So
what
it's not original.
well, I mean, just the ideas, the
No.
story elements.
You're right.
Every beat, you could, like I said earlier, you could kind of predict what's gonna happen. But I don't think it stops it from. I think what kind of like saves this movie is it's incredibly fun to watch. I had a really fun time. It moves very fast, wastes no time. I think it's surprisingly well shot. And yeah, I had a lot of fun with it. I'm going to give it a 4.
Holy shit.
No, I'm gonna do a I just saved your life 4 times out of 5.
That's a good one.
Perfect.
That's a good one.
The original line is
Good for you,
I
Travis.
saved your life 3
3
times.
All right, Sam, can you beat a 4?
Sure can. 5 out of 5.
Yeah.
And done.
And
just
done.
for Timothy Olyphant.
Just because of him.
Just for Timothy's elephant.
He was a damn good-looking sheriff, wasn't he, in that little town?
Yes, he was.
On
Made
and
me
off
want
the
to watch
screen.
Justified, but I didn't.
And you would have been justified in that decision.
Sure would. I enjoyed their take on like the quote-unquote infected.
Mm-hmm.
I thought that was really fun and that was unique. For me, I felt like Act 1 started strong and then it kind of went backwards for me. And you said, Travis, that it was a fast watch. I felt like the third act dragged a lot, and I thought the quality kind of dipped after the second act, so that kind of lost interest for me. I don't think anything was special with the way it was shot. Nothing stood out. Story became like basic, very predictable. But like again, but it was a fun watch, and I did enjoy it. But I just thought the first act was like the best out of all 3. Just like the intro and setting up the story and things like that. So overall, I'm gonna give it 3 slips sewn shut out of 5.
Ew.
Nice. I almost picked that. I like
Really?
that. Yeah.
Well, you didn't.
You're
Frank.
God, you're sick.
Frank.
Yes. Okay, so I have to also kind of agree, sort of, maybe.
Never.
I think the first act is really strong. It's definitely the strongest act. The second act, there is I don't remember where. I think it's right after they meet up with the boyfriend, Becca's boyfriend, after they escape the morgue, or no, the school, after they're all tied up and stuff. There's a section right there, and when they get to the car wash, where it kind of like loses me for a little bit. I don't know. There's just something about the way that things happen that I kind of like lose interest. But then after that, it has me again, and it's kind of like okay until the end. So the second act I think is the weaker act. The third act I think is a little stronger. And then personally, I don't really care for the redemption moment with the deputy.
Oh yeah.
I think it's a very formulaic
Feels like a
Yeah.
western.
kind of like okay, I guess,
Yeah.
I agree.
but it's not bad. It's just like it's okay.
Mm-hmm.
And then I do have a small gripe with the car wash scene, and it's just I don't know that
Yes.
I enjoy the scene. I just don't know that the rubber hose moment
No.
would have worked like physically.
No.
I don't think
Or
that
logically.
I don't think that you die that fast.
We can try it.
It broke her neck.
Okay. Yeah, I know, but like the speed at which they
Yeah,
went and
I
everything,
agree.
it's like okay, I'll take it because I think it's like a
Move the story forward. Yeah.
yeah, and I guess whatever. That shot at the end with the explosion, with the nuclear explosion, really cool. Definitely over the top, and it's like we were saying earlier. There's those other two moments, and that moment feels like it comes from a different version of the Crazies. That they went over the top, fantastical, but then they also and like action oriented, but then they also went with grounded, realistic, gritty, and like putting the two together. I think they jump between those two styles a little too quickly for it to really mesh. Like I think it could have worked, but just the way that they do it, it's kind of like 1 second you're like an action-packed thing, and then the next second you're this really like I don't want to say low budget, but like really grounded, minimalist, like horror movie thing. It's just like a really weird jump.
Do you think the studio? I didn't do any research, but do you think the studio had anything to do with like wanting more action to make it more?
Potentially.
Probably.
I just think maybe it was one of those things where like on paper they thought it would have worked better than it ended up working on screen, because I didn't really aside from the that like post bird's eye view shot, like the military shots, I don't know that the movie feels like it wasn't cohesive, like in terms of vision. It didn't feel like the studio like went in and was like, hey, let's add more here and take this out. It feels cohesive. It just doesn't feel cohesive style-wise.
Oh, I get you.
However, apart from those gripes, I still really enjoyed it, and I would have loved to have seen like something a little, just slightly more refined in terms of like its genre and tone and stuff. But even having said that, I will still give it
4.2.
4. That's the gun that killed your father. Out of 5.
Oh yeah.
Nice, Frank.
I still really liked it.
All right.
I'm not going to repeat what everybody said because I actually agree.
Okay, so next week.
I agree. F you, man. I agree with everything, pretty much everything all three of you said, including Travis, shockingly.
Wow.
But
That's disgusting.
I will say I was very entertained, shockingly entertained, because I didn't think I would be, but I was. It felt very familiar because there are so many of these movies about disease and infection and zombies. I mean, it felt very familiar, this movie to me.
No surprises.
Right, but I still thought it was very well done, and I enjoyed it. So I can't really knock it because at the end, I actually did enjoy what I was watching. I agree with you, Frank. I agree with you, Sam, and all the things that you're questioning, I'm not going to repeat because I agree with you. But the bottom line is I still enjoyed it. So I'm going to give it a 3.3.
Nice.
Bloody Glenn Morshowers, my high school buddy, out of 5.
Yay. Where did you land on your Dan meter? Out of 10.
I'd say my Dan meter as far as like horror goes or whatever,
Yeah.
about 7.5.
That's good.
That's not
Yeah.
bad.
That's good.
No, I was never bored for 1 second.
Yeah.
Even moments where I went, what? I was like, fine, moving on. I'm good. Let's keep going. Because I felt like the movie, honestly, the best thing about the movie was it set itself up very well and it pushed itself forward very well. It just kept moving forward. It never.
It didn't dwell too long.
It did not. It did not at all.
and
So
like I said-
I like that a lot.
And like I said, and that's why I said I kind of forgave a little bit the lack of originality.
Yes, of course.
Because it moved so fast.
Yeah, no, I agree. I mean, again, not to go back to our stuff, but here and there is not really an original idea, but
it's the
our
way it's
approach
told.
to it is original, and I hopefully when we make the movie, it'll move very quickly forward all the time.
So what are we doing next week?
Hey guys, editing Frank. So, we didn't know this when recording the episode, but this is actually our last episode of season 2. We're going on break, guys. Just for a little bit, just 1 month. We will be back July 3rd with new episodes and maybe a slightly new format.
All right.
Happy holidays. Thank you for listening and following us. Please like us, share us,
And like us.
tell your friends about us.
Follow us on Instagram
Follow us on Instagram. Follow us on
at Satellite 12 Films.
films, yes.
Yeah.
Is that what our handle
That's
is?
what we do. And we are so happy to share. Right now, Frank is using a
Laser pointer.
laser pointer at my cat. And my cat is
Going wild.
slightly questioning what's going on.
Not on her face. Not on the face.
And we are
Bye.
out.